Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. I forgot to do the rating stats for this month again, so I'll just insert them here right now. But I read 14 books, well 13 plus a novella I guess, which I think has been like my average so far this year. I was trying to get through like the last bit of my summer TBR in August, so a lot of these are romance. I'm in a romance mood, that's all I can say. So the first book that I finished in August is Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. This one is about a girl who goes to England to study abroad, and her dad's like a famous rock star, so she's been sheltered her entire life, kinda, or not sheltered, he's very protective, I'll say that. And when she's, you know, supposed to be rooming with three girls, but when she gets there, finds out that she's actually living with three boys. So she doesn't tell her father that. She's trying to, you know, make it work because she really wants this opportunity. And there ends up being like a love triangle in this with one of her roommates and another character, and that aspect I did not like because one of the guys already had a girlfriend and she was clearly like flirting with him and like trying, I don't know. That part I did not enjoy, but I did like, there's like a mystery aspect to it where she's doing a project, a school project where she's like researching this painting, this portrait of a woman, and she's trying to find out like who it was and, you know, who painted it and all that stuff, and that aspect was entertaining to me. I think that's probably why I kept reading, to figure out like, you know, to find out what she discovers about the painting. It was just the romance that I did not enjoy in this, but I ended up giving it 3 stars. It was like a solid 3-star. I don't know if I would recommend it if you like love triangles, and then you might like it, but it wasn't my favorite. But I did like her writing, and it makes me want to read more of her books, so I guess it did its job. So again, this one was 3 stars. Then I reread an Emily Henry book, People We Meet on Vacation, and the first time I read Emily Henry's books, I thought like the first time I read Emily Henry's books, like Beach Read and this one, because Book Lovers wasn't out when I started reading her books, and when this one came out, I liked this one more than Beach Read. I loved Alex in this, and I loved the 2 characters in the plot in this one. So this whole time I was like, Alex is my favorite. But when I started seeing reviews of other people's Emily Henry male main character rankings, Alex is like always at the bottom, and this book is always at the bottom, and I don't understand, because Alex is an amazing male main character. He is everything. And maybe because he's very Virgo, I don't know if he's actually a Virgo, but he's very Virgo coded, and I am a Virgo too, so I see like a lot of myself in Alex, and maybe that's why I love him so much. But he's also just like, he loves Poppy, and I love the relationship, and I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite. I'm rereading all of her books, and it's nice to do that, like after reading like her more recent ones like Happy Place and Funny Story, going back and rereading People We Meet on Vacation, like the ones that I read in 2021. Just going back and rereading these is such a good time, and I definitely missed Alex. I gave this one obviously a 5-star, and I still don't know where it sits on my ranking. I know I said it's Funny Story, Happy Place, Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation, Book Lovers, but I think I preferred this one over Beach Read, which I feel like is an unpopular opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the person I will be when I see Tom Blythe on my TV screen as Alex Nielsen. I'm just gonna apologize now, because yeah, that is the perfect casting, and I'm so excited for it. So, just wanted to put that PSA out there. I never see anyone rave about people we meet on vacation. Everyone always loves beach read or happy place. So, there's my unpopular opinion for today. Anyway, I loved this book. Then I read the new Jennifer Lynn Barnes book. This is The Grandest Game. It's like the spinoff from the Inheritance Game series. And this one, it was okay. I feel like I was just reading it and like nothing was happening. Like it's just a game that these characters are doing and solving like all these puzzles and riddles, which I did enjoy that part. That's what I like about. That's what I liked about the Inheritance games are the riddles that she puts in these books, and you get a lot of Grayson in these books. So if you're a Grayson girly, you will love this book. And I feel like the chapters where the 3 point of views you get are like 3 random people, and one of them's like, I can't say who it is because it will spoil it if you haven't read it, but he's in one of these characters' point of views a lot, and so you get a lot of him, and you know there's a little bit of a romance aspect to it, but it's mainly just these characters solving this riddle, and that part is fun. But other than that, like it's hard, I can't really relate to like the characters or anything, and like you only get like a snippet of, you know, the original series with the point of views that Grayson's in. That's the point of view that I enjoyed the most. So I gave it 3 stars. It was good. I would read the next one. I think I'll just keep reading the next one. Her books are just so easy. The chapters are so short. They're just easy to get through. But nothing will beat the original trilogy. So then I read One Star Romance. This one is about Natalie, who wants to become an author, and she writes a book. She's super proud of it, and one day she's walking down the aisle she's the maid of honor, and then she's walking down with the best man, and she finds out that he gave her book a 1 star. That's her villain origin story, basically, but she's not a villain. And so she hates him from that point on, but he almost like, I feel like you don't get a lot of the male main character's point of view, or not point of view, you do get his point of view. You don't get a lot of his personality, I feel like, because at the beginning you think he's just cocky and kind of a jerk, but he's not, and I think he just challenges her and makes her want to do better, and him giving her first book a 1 star kind of like made her, you know, want to be better and like prove to him that she can be an author. This has a lot of like friendship themes in it, more than the romance, I would say, but I liked that aspect of it, because her best friend married his best friend. That's why they were in the wedding together, and so they see a lot of each other over like the span of 8 to 10 years, I think, and it skips like 2 years at a time basically, and they're always like thrown together because their best friends married each other, so they have to spend time together, and there's always tension between them, and like obviously they're attracted to each other, but she hates him. So I thought it was a really fun book. I gave it 5 stars because the ending, I think towards the end it got pretty emotional, and yeah, I liked, again, like I said, I like the friendship themes, and also that the type of books that I like are the ones that I end up giving 5 stars. I feel like that make me feel something, are the ones where it's like you don't have to have, that tell you like you don't have to have everything figured out in your 30s. I'm almost 24, but you know, you don't have to have everything figured out at a certain age. Like, you know, there's no time limit on that basically. So I always love those type of books. So I did give this one 5 stars. Then I read the 3rd book in the Gold Rush series by Elsie Silver, called A False Start. No, The Front Runner. Yeah, The Front Runner. And That one is about the vet that works on the ranch and almost like another ranch, like a race that has horses that compete, and he's kind of seen as like a really arrogant and no one likes him basically, but he's kind of different around the around Mira, who is the vet, and she helps him with one of his horses, so they kind of have to spend time together, and they kind of make a deal together that she is going to help him with his horse, and he gets to take her out on 3 dates. So this series is not, I actually don't love it as much as Chestnut Springs or even the her new series, what's it called, the Rose Hill ones, the Rose Hill series, but I still enjoy it. I love her characters, and just her writing is just good in general and fast paced. And yeah, I just wanted to finish like her first series, so yeah, I just gave it a 3. I gave it a 3. I recommend all of her books, just because they're fast paced, easy romances, don't take a lot of brain power to get through. And then I read Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. This one was on my summer TBR, and I tried to read it several times, like all summer, like probably May. I probably started in May, tried to start it again in June, July, and then here we are in August, finally finished it. I listened to the audiobook because I could not sit here and read it. I think it was the font that I didn't like there's something wrong with it. I don't know, sometimes for some reason books with this type of font, just I can't read them. Like, it looks old, which that doesn't make sense. But this one's more of like a fiction about a 13-year-old girl discovering the 70s pop culture rock star life. That's basically what she's introduced to. So if you like that time period, which like I do, you'd probably enjoy this. It's more of just like her discovering, you know, the outside world rather than her sheltered life that her parents like don't let her know this and this and this. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. I don't remember what I gave this. Probably 3-star. Then I read The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, and this is one of my new 5-star reads. This one's about 2 exes who are estranged that have to work together again for their mutual best friend's wedding. They're the best woman and best man, and they kind of have to put their differences aside and help pull off this wedding, and it forces them to kind of like talk about where they went wrong in their relationship, and it brings up other things, and they're working through that, and you know, all the drama that comes with that. And I really loved it. I love the setting. I love second chance romance. I'm a sucker for it. It was so good, and I gave it 5 stars. Then I read Beartown by Frederick Bachman. This is the first book that I've read by him, and I loved it. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, but I loved his writing and the way he told the story. It was fast paced. I kept wanting to like continue reading it. I immediately bought the rest of the series after I finished this book because it was so good. But this one's about a small town in Sweden. I'm pretty sure it's Sweden. It doesn't say, but he is Swedish, and the show that was on HBO Max is a Swedish show, so I'm gonna say it's Sweden. But it's about a small town that their entire life is ice hockey, and they have a chance to get to the finals and do really good things for their town, but something happens at the semifinal match, or the day of the semifinal match, and it leaves the town in turmoil. And one of the girls, like the point of views that you get in here, she is traumatized, and you're basically dealing with the aftermath of that, and you get different characters' point of views in this book. And his writing, the way he just like interconnects all the point of views in the story, is just amazing. I would look up trigger warnings before you read this. I don't think he doesn't say anything in this, but it does talk about some sensitive topics in here, so definitely look up trigger warnings. But this was such a good book, and I gave it 4. Then I read Wisteria, which is the last book in the Belladonna series by Adeline Grace, and I can't say too much about it because it's the 3rd book in a series and it'll give away everything, but you follow a different character in this one and her story, and it's basically a forced marriage, enemies to lovers. It has that gothic element, which I feel like I say a lot every time I talk about this book, but that's like the only way I can describe the series. It's just like a dark gothic series, perfect for fall. So I gave this one 4 stars. Then I listened to Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, and because I just knew that I feel like I wasn't going to get around to reading it, and it's one of the 24 books that I wanted to read in 2024, so I ended up just listening to it on audio while I was at work one week, and I really enjoyed this. Again, it's one of those topics that kind of like Beartown, the topic in it, especially as a young woman, can really just pull at your heartstrings, and yeah, it just sucks, basically. And this one's about Elizabeth Zott, who is a scientist, chemist in the 1960s, and you know, being a woman during that time, it was hard to, you know, be taken seriously and, you know, get a position at where she wanted to be. Just following her struggles during that time, and it's just, she's amazing. She's amazing, strong, independent woman. She doesn't need anybody, and I love that about her, and I love the story, and the point of views that you get in this are really interesting. Like, you get the point of view of her dog, which I thought was really interesting and actually kind of entertaining. The dog was really funny, but still, very serious book, entertaining. I think I gave this one 4 stars. And I read Daydream by Hannah Grace, the newest book from the Icebreaker Maple Hill series. I think that's what, yeah, Maple Hills. And this one follows Hallie and Henry. He's a hockey player, and she is obviously a Swiftie because of the cardigan, and a book lover. She runs a book club. She's also very much a people pleaser, which I definitely feel like I see a lot of myself in Hallie and her friendships, and well, the way she struggles to make friends, and feeling like she has to do everything for everybody. Not that aspect of it, but her, just like her dynamic with people and how she feels about things, her personality. I feel like I just related to her on that level. But I loved their relationship, and I just like being back in this world. I love the found family that you get in this series, like an Icebreaker and Wildfire. I just love this friend group and the way they're there for each other. All around a great series to get into, and I highly recommend it, and it's one I gave 4 stars. I listened to a novella, which is Maybe Not by Colleen Hoover. I'm trying to get through the books that I have of Colleen Hoover, although I don't really enjoy her books anymore. I just don't, I've never really loved her writing, but they were just easy and fast-paced, bingeable books, if that makes sense. Like, they're not hard to read. The romances might not be the best, but like, they're just like, you know, quick. And this one's a novella that takes place after Maybe Someday, I think is what it's called. So I just listened to this because I was like, I'm never gonna pull this out to read it. So it's only like 100, it doesn't even have page numbers. It's like barely over 100 pages. And when I was listening to this one takes place during the same time as Maybe Someday, but from a different character's point of view and his relationship. And being in his point of view made me not like him. Like, he's very arrogant at the beginning and thinks that like all women want him, and that just irritated me. I was like, why does Colleen Hoover write such toxic men? Because you would think that like men written by women are typically, you know, A+, they're the man that you want, but not a Colleen Hoover man. Besides Atlas. But there's no other Colleen Hoover book where I'm like, oh yes, I love this male main character. I don't like any of her characters. They're all so toxic and terrible people. Even the female main characters. So now I'm just like, do I continue reading her books? I might not like actually sit and like read the books. Maybe I'll just listen to them on audio just because they're easy to listen to while I'm at work. Because I don't have to, it doesn't use too much brain power. But after listening to this, I was just like, why are her characters so terrible? Anyway, I think I gave this 1 star. 2 stars? I don't even know. Yeah. I have nothing else to say about that. Then I read The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I've been wanting to pick this one up for a while just because the cover is beautiful. But this one was also really intriguing because the main character, Delphi, randomly dies one day, like unexpectedly. You know, she's really young. And when she gets there, she kind of meets like a afterlife therapist. It kind of reminded me of The Good Place a little bit, but she runs into this guy while she's in the afterlife, and they like instantly click, and you know, it's like love at first sight. Like he could be her soulmate, and her afterlife therapist is like, oh, he's an unconscious visitor. He's getting a tooth surgery. He's not supposed to be here. So sometimes like when you're under anesthesia, like you could end up there, I guess. So she sends him back to Earth. And she's like, no, you have to send me back. Like, I'm not supposed to be dead. Like, I need to find him. And the therapist is like, you know what? We'll do that. So she sends her back to Earth and says, you have this many days to find this guy and have him kiss you. You can't kiss him. He has to kiss you. And then you can stay on Earth forever. So that's what she's doing. She's trying to figure out who this guy is. She has no idea what his name is. Well, she only knows his first name and then the first letter of his last name. And she ends up enlisting the help of her next door neighbor, who's really grumpy and who she doesn't have the best track record with, but he ends up helping her. And I feel like from there you can kind of guess like how it's gonna go from there. But the main character, Delphi, is really funny. She's very quirky and silly and unserious, but still serious when she needs to be. But yeah, it's just a good old little romance and a good little twist on a rom-com. And it also talks about how, like, you know, life is short. You never know like what's gonna happen, so you need to live every day to the fullest. And I really like that message that this one sends, so I gave this one 4 stars. I couldn't really find another book to read, and you know, just the last couple of days of August, I didn't really want to start anything big. So while I was at work, I ended up listening to Tom Felton's, is this a biography or autobiography? I can't remember which is which. I'm so bad at that, but I read his book, Beyond the Wand, and he actually narrates it, which made it 10 times more entertaining. You know, listen to him speak and his accent. He's just very lively, obviously, because he's an actor, so it was just very entertaining and, you know, made it more enjoyable, I feel, than like if you were to sit here and read it. But the story was actually entertaining, and you get like some backstory into like the Harry Potter films, him growing up before he was on Harry Potter, and things that come after that, and like some of the struggles he had after, you know, when he later in his adult life. So it was really good. I didn't rate it because I don't like rating people's stories, like biographies and stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. Because you really shouldn't be critiquing someone's life story. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. I would actually recommend listening to the audiobook where he narrates it, because it's just so much better listening to it. But I did finish the month up listening to this. So those are all the books that I read in August. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them in the comments, and give this video a like. Hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!